So nice. The salty sound of the sea. It soothes me so. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, one and all, to another adventure here on the Gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz, and it's going to be a nice, easy adventure today. It's kind of a throwback adventure. Basically, we're going to be adventuring in an old kingdom with old monsters and old kings, and all we're looking for is to scrape up enough money to buy a sword. We're playing a very primordial RPG called Knight's Quest for the original Game Boy. How many role-playing games can you think of for the original Game Boy? I remember quite a few. I remember being very impressed with Final Fantasy Legend. I played through that one all the way through to this day. We still don't have it sitting in the hold. I believe we had the second one, and maybe even the third one. There were actually 3 on the original Game Boy, including an action RPG called, I believe it was called The Mystic Quest. Or is that SNES game? Anyway, there was even like kind of a Zelda meets Final Fantasy game made by Square, which I also had and played probably all the way through. I certainly owned it, so I must have at the time. But anyway, this is one you're never going to really hear of. This is one that we found maybe about a year ago in a lot with a bunch of other Game Boy games. Never heard of it. Never have yet to see it ever again. And I've been playing it lately, and it's been a lot of fun. So I thought I would take you guys along with me for a little bit of grinding. Because that's what you used to do in RPGs back in the 90s. A little grinding, okay? We'll get into that later. We're also going to be talking about some tabletop games because it's Tabletop Week. International Tabletop Day is in 2 days. So you should probably try and find a way to get together with a friend or two and play something like Axis and Allies, or whatever it is you guys like to play, Hero Quest or Descent, or heck, even Monopoly. But I'm going to show you some really weird games that we've acquired and have just been sitting in the hold. We've never played them. One of these I believe I had as a child, but I guarantee you're going to get a smile on your face when you see some of these. Obviously, we have the chest. Wow, is there a lot going on in there? I don't think we're going to make it through this hour, especially with me. I need to... Hold on, I'll get some Mountain Dew going. Have you had this sangria? Oh my god. Sangria Mountain Dew. It's amazing. It's like mother's milk. Anyway, let's get started with... And then, of course, we'll get the mailbag. Okay? So let's get started with these tabletop games. Again, it's Tabletop Week in 2 days. International Tabletop Week. How about that? So everyone knows we're going to be playing board games on Saturday. Here's some of the ones that I think you'll get a big kick out of seeing. Now, you may remember we grabbed this one at some point a few months back, somewhere around $4 from a resale shop. I don't really remember anything particularly exciting about the board or the pieces. I think I might. But there's the board. And then I assume the centipede makes its way down there, and you have to somehow whittle it down with various pieces. I don't want to pull this into the shot because I don't want to reveal everything at once here. But that centipede, I'm not that excited about that one. But check this out. We found this one for $2.12. Donkey Kong. Look at that. Just like the arcade. Oh, I'm sure it's just like the arcade. Well, on the back, we can take a look at the board. And then a very angry-looking Donkey Kong. You got to jump the fireball, hammer the barrel. Back when it was Jumpman. And it's actually worth taking a look at the pieces of these. Check out Donkey Kong here. He apparently has some sort of arm It goes like this, I guess. You gotta open them up. Yeah, it looks like you open them up. And then you put the arm in there. And the arm, his one hand, it spits out the barrels. And then this hand, you can put the barrels into. Here's the barrel. You can stick the barrel in his arm. I guess that loads him. And then whenever it's time for him to shoot out barrels, isn't that complicated? It seems complicated to me. And then in addition to that, you've got your various Jumpman. Your various Jumpman Marios. You got a green one. There's Luigi. Look at that, Luigi before Luigi. How about that? I guess there's a blue one in there and a yellow one. Alright, so there you go. Donkey Kong. Oh, there's also, what are these? A whole bunch of cards here. Looks like these are point cards. Hammer. They all say hammer. This one says jump. 300 points. Alright, fair enough. Not sure how much fun that one will be. I vaguely remember playing that as a kid. I remember the dispenser Donkey Kong. So yeah. All these by Milton Bradley. It looked like Milton Bradley had the corner on arcade to game adaptions. This is Pac-Man. Got that for $1.81. This looks like I don't know, card game only. Card game featuring characters from the popular arcade. Oh, it's taped? Ah, I thought I untaped all these. Hold on. How we doing on time? I got a knife. Hold on. You guys want to see Inky, Blinky, and Clyde, right? How we doing on time? I better check. Make sure we're doing on time. Oh boy. It's the inevitable part of the show where Raz is fiddling with something, right? Alright. Oh, that can't be good. Oh, there's no label on the back. That's fine. Thing survived 30, 40 years for me to ruin it. Oh my god, there's a lot of cards here. But you gotta love the colors. Look at that, black and blue. Number cards, picture card. Do we have any pictures? Most of these look like Uno cards. I don't know. I don't know how fun this one would be. Lots of instructions here. Alright, let's get to the next one. Never heard of this one before. This is not made by Milton Bradley. $2. Q*bert! Look at that! Q*bert had a game. Who would have thought? I had no idea. We're doing okay on time. What's in here? Oh, does that look familiar? That's funny. Oh, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't think this is the same game. What is this tree? This tree looks familiar to me. Oh, this is a whole hodgepodge of stuff. You got some chutes and ladders in here. I think this tree is from the Bernstein Bears? I don't know, maybe the Smurfs? You see that? Hobbit comes to mind. There's a bunch of random scorpions in here. That can't be for Q*bert. Here's for Q*bert. There's the snake. Remember the coiled guy? Where's Q*bert? Where's old Q? Can't be Q*bert without Q*bert. Is he in here? I'm seeing the flying disc. Oh, here he is. Here's Q*bert. Is this a one-player game? Maybe it's good guys versus bad guys. Huh, weird. Coily, slick. Yeah, there's a die here with everyone's name. All the bad guys. Coily was the snake. Alright. Weird. Very weird. I don't know how Q*bert would translate to a game. Very weird. Alright, two more. Here, I know I had this as a kid. Pac-Man! Pac-Man, the board game by Milton Bradley. And you really got to see the pieces here. Here they are. There's Pac-Man. And he could walk, waka. And there were 4 of you on the board, all competing for dots on the board. The dots were basically the same marbles as Hungry Hippos. Here's a ghost. I'm only seeing 2 ghosts in here. I hope we don't need more than that. I don't know. And then the board basically looks like Pac-Man. It looks. I think we're missing ghosts. They seem to have blue ghosts. So they're like playing with blue ghosts and yellow Pac-Man and whatever. And then finally, this one has the best art. Not finally. Oh God, we gotta go. You got Zaxxon. Look at that box art. Look at that. And looks like it's basically a 2-player game. Player 2 starts here, player 1 starts there, and you're both trying to make kind of a Yui into Zaxxon. And I really liked looking at this thing. I noticed here's a piece. Here's the ship. So look at the piece here. The piece actually can change altitude, much like you would have to do in the video game. Okay, and then finally in the which one of these does not belong category. We couldn't do a tabletop segment without showing you. I don't know how much I got this for. Probably $1 or $2. Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure. It's a mad dash through Meatland on your way to the frying pan. I've actually played through this with my family. It's a blast. It's exactly Candyland. It's exactly Candyland, except for like what kind of areas do we have here? You got to see the board for this. This is too ridiculous. You've got does it say on here? You've got the Sausage Sea right there. Sausage Sea is there. Here's Vegan Alley. Vegan Alley's bad. You never want to go to Vegan Alley. It's a backtrack. Mustard Marsh over here with all the corn dogs. Mustard Marsh. And then finally, of course, the Meatball Meadows. Meatball Meadows there. Okay, so there you go. Keep an eye on that one. Christmas is coming. Pass that one around. All right, let's get started, shall we? Let's get into Knight's Quest. We're sitting in the King's Hall right now. We've just finished defeating the Goblin King, and now the King has tasked us with heading out to the North Cape in the west to explore a mysterious tower that has popped up out of nowhere. It could only have happened by magical means. I assume we're way over. We are. Let's get started in Knight's Quest by Tato. Oh. Hey, remember the days when I would forget this? Now it's like ingrained in me. Knight Quest. The original Game Boy. Let's make it black and white, baby. Yes. Alright, we've taken our rest, sir. We're on our way. We're ready for action. Let me get my headphones on here. Alright, good time. Now this is cool. This is actually an RPG with a password system. And here's the world. You'll see the tower is right next to that big ominous black castle in the northeast. The castle lies right kind of smack dab in the middle of north. So we're going to try and make our way there. And we're, if you're wondering, we're at that blinking shield there. So this is kind of the kingdom. You've got your normal tropes here, and this is what we want. We got 276 gold. We want to get that sword today. Okay, that's the goal. I really want to get myself a nice sword. Because back then, in 1992, when you were playing an RPG like this on the Game Boy, every little bit meant the world. So this is interesting. Check out the fighting in this. You go to fight. Normally you think you just swing the sword, but there's actually 4 different types of fighting. There's Swallow, Falcon, Seagull, and Eagle. I'm going to try Falcon. That's usually kind of an anti-air move. And look at this Game Boy game where he's actually getting in their face. Most Game Boy RPGs, like the Final Fantasy series, it's very akin to the Dragon Quest series, where you're only seeing pictures of the monsters, and they kind of flash when it's time for them to attack. But here's full-on animations of the enemy and the hero going at it. They're spells, but the spells cost money. Everything in this costs money. And there's actually an option at the beginning of the game to choose if you want to acquire more money through kills, but I played it the old-fashioned way. And really what I need to be doing is I need to be tracking how much damage I'm doing to this guy. Alright, I did 40 to him there. You see how much he's done to me comparatively? It's going to be close. In fact, I may have to run. And this is just the first guy we fought. I think we'll be okay, though. Another 40. Got a cool little background going on there. Pretty nice music. And you'd be shocked at how much this game goes for these days. This game, at the time of our little voyage here, the game's going somewhere around $60 just for the cart. Can you imagine spending $60 on a Game Boy game? But that's Taito games for you. Taito, something about their games. If they're hard to come by, they're going to really appreciate in price. Little Samson's made by Taito. Flintstone Surprise Dinosaur Peak made by Taito. And this guy here. Night Quest. Alright, we killed him. But man, he took a lot of damage off us. And we got 18 gold. We got some XP. We're gonna go back to town and spend whatever. Hopefully this gold will pay for the inn, and we'll have a little scratch left over towards the sword saving. You'll notice that the monsters on the screen, it's not random encounters in this game. Actually, I believe there are random encounters too, because I have set this down for a second and I came back and I'm fighting somebody. So. No, we gotta go to the inn. The inn is up here. I think one of the best things about this game is, unlike all the Final Fantasies on the Game Boy, he's back, of course. But now we know his secret. We're gonna start with Eagle and we're gonna continue on with it. We'll really take him down quickly that way. Or at least the best we can. Yeah, the fact that we've got a full RPG here that runs off a password instead of battery. Because nobody wants to play Final Fantasy on the Game Boy these days if they pick it up at Goodwill, because You know, what are the chances that that memory is going to see you all the way through to the campaign? You know, 20 years ago, passwords were a complete pain in the butt. But these days, it's the way to go, because not only do you not need to worry about a battery, everyone and their mom has a smartphone, so it only takes a second to snap a shot of the screen. I missed him? Are you kidding? See, I can't even bring myself to fight two guys before I go back to the inn. Can you believe this? Hey, what happened? Hey! Oh, you're kidding me. What? What? It crashed? Oh god, please tell me it's just the Retron. Oh man! This is when I wish I had an assistant. I could go to the booty segment and be just fine. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to come back for the booty segment. We'll let this guy boot up. Hopefully I can do both. Where's the heart beer? We'll come back. We'll do the booty segment. Because I don't want you guys to be sitting here waiting on me. That's for sure. Kill the audio on that. And then we'll, I'm going to reboot the Retron. Hopefully that'll do it. Meanwhile, you guys can barely hear me, can't see me. What a fascinating show, huh? Oh my god. I swear. Is she opening back up? She's almost up. Alright. So, let's talk about the booty segment. Where's my hat? So I was in, I've talked about Lafayette, Illinois before. And Lafayette, Illinois has one of the only games shops out there that hasn't been totally ravaged by the glut and inflation of retro video gaming. For whatever reason. I mean, they're not totally immune. They had a little Samson in there, and they were selling it for $500, and that's understandable. And I'm jumping on you guys because I'm trying to do this at the same damn time. I'm sorry. Losing frame rate here. Good news is I think we're back with next quest. So this, just have to put up with the skipping for a minute or two. There we go, we're catching up. So, I walked in there and, I don't know, somebody must have died or something, because they had just new stuff for every system ever. And I happen to have, I'm to the point with Lafayette where I'm trying to save up doubles just so when I go through there I can do credit. And so I brought them just a buttload of stuff on this day where they had a buttload of new cool stuff that I've never seen before. And I must have got I think I had like $100 in credit, $110 in credit, somewhere around there. Oh. And if you're going to get credit from somewhere, it's always important to ask how they deal with credit, because there are some places like this place which actually will save via your license, your driver's license or your state ID, how much credit you have in that store. That's good. That's what you want. You want to be able to leave that town, forget it, and come back 4 months later and cash in the rest of your credit, okay? There are other places that will take $100 of your stuff, and then they'll write on a little receipt, he's got this much credit, and then expect you to hold on to that. Okay? I already gave you all my stuff, bro. You can't do me the service of keeping your records in your store? In my opinion, it's really bad business. Okay, so find that out. You know, if you're only going to do a little bit, you know, bring in $10 worth of stuff, that's one thing. But if you're going to bring in a lot, make sure that this is the kind of store that's going to take care of you. Okay? Remember I was talking about how I had to put in a password? Now it's... Oh, my God. Nothing is agreeing with me. Let's go. Stop lagging. This sucks. This controller is like sticking on me. There we go. Wake up. Did you guys want to see this? It's just, you know, it's nothing interesting. It's me just typing in the password. I guess we could do this together. Alright, so another thing about this day was I come back with all this stuff and I see some pretty choice inventory sitting on the counter. Dreamcast stuff. And man, do I love Dreamcast. But it was all pretty, and like some dude, some like 20-something, with way too much money. I don't know if he's living with his parents and he's just got a disposable income. But this guy's just paying the moon on all these Dreamcast games. And the worst part is he doesn't really know what they are. He's just buying them. He's just buying them because it's hot to do that. Oh my God. I'm on the last character here. And it's lagging like crazy. Probably. Okay, one more. Okay. Asterisk. Start. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, what do you expect? I'm the only guy here. Everybody else is off getting wasted, okay? They spent the whole day getting us here. Now they're tying one on. Maybe one day I'll get an assistant. Okay. So here we go. There's a lot of cool stuff here. The first thing I saw was some Sega Genesis stuff in the box. And I had them go to the counter and grab that first. And in the back of my head, that collector guy, Mr. I'll throw money at anything, you know, he had some pretty nice stuff, but it was all Dreamcast stuff that I pretty much had. Except for like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but again, they were asking a lot. He was getting that for like $30-$40. I'm like, I don't need it that bad. All right. So first, what I really excited about, we got the way underappreciated Weapon Lord for $4 in the box. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that sticker off there. It doesn't really matter. There's a Blockbuster Video sticker on the back. But no, this is a great fighting game. I think one of the guys who had to do with Mortal Kombat left the team to work on development for this. And another funny thing here is it says, play it on X-Band. X-Band was a phone service, like phone online service kind of thing. So, could you imagine paying like, phone charges, dial-up charges to play Weapon Lord? But anyway, this is a really sweet, very quality fighting game. And I've got it for the SNES, but the SNES controllers are just a mess for fighting games. So I've been looking for a Sega copy for a while. And to find it in the box for $4 was a great deal. All right. They had a copy of Ghouls and Ghosts there. This is actually our copy. They had a copy there in a generic case. And for whatever reason, they had mismarked it. Ghouls and Ghosts runs you around $30. They had marked it as American Gladiators for $6. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll grab that and make a little change. So that's what I did. That one's gone. It's been sold for for 30 or 30, $25, $30, and because we've already got it. So, all right, Cosmic Carnage for the 32X, another 2D fighter. The box is a total mess, but it was. I'm not seeing a price here. So it used to be an Alright. Look at that. See on the spine there? Anybody here Allied Records? It even says Toledo, Ohio. Allied Records is a place that generally marks up their stuff like crazy. Ridiculous prices from what I hear from my boys in Toledo, my contacts in Toledo. But this has the manual. It's got the game. It's just a cheesy fighting game, and it must have been like $3. I don't know why the price isn't on here anymore, but I didn't spend any more than $4 on that. For $4, we got the Mega Man X collection. We already had this for GameCube. It's really expensive on GameCube. But, dude. Oh, here we go. What did we do on Cosmic Carnage? Cosmic Carnage was $2. $2 for Cosmic Carnage in the box. How can you go wrong? It's not an expensive game at all. You'd probably find that game for around $4 loose. So to find it for $2 in the box, I was happy. But this is 7 Mega Man X's. I believe it's 6 Mega Man X's, and then the Battle and Chase racing game. It was a kart racer with Mega Man. But yeah, to get a second copy of this, even though we have it for GameCube for $4, I was like, how could I not? How could I not? That's almost 50 cents a Mega Man game. There's no way. This is kind of a sleeper hit on the Sega Genesis. I've been looking for it for a while. It's basically kind of an isometric Zelda. Here it's got a lot of heart. I've never played it before. No manual. I think we paid pretty heavily on this one, though. I think, I'm glad we found the receipt, because it doesn't say. We paid $20 on Landstalker. $20 on Landstalker. I think we paid more on that one than any other thing here. Earth Defense. This looks like an unlicensed shooter. Look at that box art. Who drew this? I'm pretty sure this is drawn in like some cafeteria in, I don't know, Tallahassee Springs back in the 90s. But it's a shooter. Looks like it's a top-down vertical shooter. Only you can come to the Earth's defense. It's even got like a weird, different kind of casing than all the other Genesis games. No label on the top there. What do we do on this one? This was a long time ago when we did this deal. This deal's been sitting in a box for a long time. Earth Defense was $10. That's a lot, but I love shooters. I love shooters. It was in the box. It's Sega Genesis. It was all adding up to I really wanted it. Okay. We gotta go. For $2, been looking for this one for a while. Bithead 1000, one of my favorite guys on YouTube, has basically sold me on this game. I remember playing this as a kid, but he really invoked the romanticism of it. It's basically M1 Abrams battle tank. You're just in a tank. And there's missions, but you can just scrap the mission and go out into like a very early polygonal field where there's river and there's buildings and structures and obviously other tanks, but you can avoid them and just go blow stuff up. So been looking for this one for a while. Manual's real beat up. Looks like it's been in a war itself, but I kind of like it like that. It gives it a lot of character. So for $2, I was really happy to finally get you see this game around, but you usually just see it loose. I was trying to hold on for a day because I knew it wasn't going to be much more complete. So that's great. I'm excited to play that. Okay. And then I said, so we got those. We had the stack there. And I said, you got anything behind the counter? These guys always do. Something about Lafayette. They just have a lot of stuff, and usually they have this one box that's filled with Atari and/or television, any 4-bit kind of stuff they had, and they had this one box that was filled with all of the 4-bit stuff that the collector who had died left behind, and Mr. 20-something, 4-bit's just not sexy enough, so he's not interested. So this was like all stuff that is just beyond their sales. And so if it's not like in their range of sale, they're just going to mark it for lowest price possible. So here we go. These were all $1 each, 5,200 games. Hubert! Grabbed this because I wasn't sure if we had it. I think we have it, though. Joust! Very cool for the 5,200. Joust on any system, happy to have it. Basically the 4-bit Street Fighter, in my opinion. Countermeasure, I don't know what this is. Probably not that great. This is probably a game that needed some overlays that we don't have. And an instruction manual. So I don't know how much we're going to be playing that one. Star Raiders. I grabbed it just because we don't have it for the 52. We've got it for the 26. Frankly, we'll probably be playing it on the 26 if we ever play it. Because it's got like a little control panel. We've got it in the box. A nice set. And then finally, the big one. The excellent River Raid. Great top-down shooter. Really excited to see that on the Coleco. And it's really funny. It's got the overlays on the back here. But this is basically just you're a plane flying through a valley, blowing up bridges and oil tankers, and swooping up fuel. So basically, it's just one button to fire, and it's an arcade game, but they had to put the overlay in there. The overlay is nothing. It's got no. This says River Raid, Activision, and then it's numbered some of the game modes. That's it. All right, so that's it for the. I think that's it for 52. I really don't know. All right, let's get obscure, shall we? Let's get obscure. To my shock, they had Commodore 64 games. All right, here's a Commodore 64. I don't have one of these plugged in. I haven't played one since I was a kid, but I did play as a kid. This is my dad's. I had to grab it from him just so you guys could get a good look at it. We've got a copy of Tapper sticking out of the top. That's where you would put a cartridge. And you'll see that it's pretty basic hookups here. You've got an RF out, which is basically what you would use for any Atari. And then some harder to find power outlets. This is not very universal, but that's stuff he's got. And I believe these ports are just like expansion ports for other things like a modem and stuff. I'm not really gonna be hooking up the Commodore 64 anytime soon. We've got an Atari 400 and much more excited about getting off the ground eventually, and the Texas Instruments. I'm still in the process of making kind of a 70s super computer setup for those. The Commodore 64 is probably going to go back to my dad. Maybe one day we'll hook this guy up, but they had games for it. I've never seen games because everybody who had Commodore 64 copied them onto floppies. Everyone pretty much pirated back then. So to see actual Commodore 64 carts on game was a rarity. And they had them. And since obviously we have the hardware at my dad's place, I figured, man, we should grab these, especially for the price they were asking. So let's take a look. These are all for $1. You got a game called Clowns. Check out that exciting box art. Kickman. Never heard of that one. Radar Rat Race. Okay. And this is a 2600 game? This is. I think this is like the only Atari 2600 game we picked up. Game called Entombed. Not sure what that's about. Omega Race. We got that on a couple systems. 2600. Coleco, I think. Grid Runner, I almost feel like, oh, I don't know. That's probably a game. It kind of sounds like an application, but I think it's a game. Centipede, an actual Atari game made for the Commodore 64. Wow, the autofocus is really playing today, huh? And finally, Starpost. It can either be awesome or terrible. A name like Starpost, it could go either way. I said, and then I'm digging through this box again, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. There's VIC-20 games in here. The Commodore VIC-20 is a system that's even older than the Commodore 64. Maybe the same company. Basically, their prior computer. Do we have one of these? Are we ever going to have one of these? Probably not. But, dude, it was like everything was $1. And it's all gravy. This is all doubles. This is all credit. So it was like anything we get that's weird and cheap, I'm grabbing. Okay, here we go. VIC-20 games. Have you ever seen these? These are gigantic. Look at that. The Count. And I'm relatively sure this is about Dracula. So that was 99. These are all 99 cents. Jupiter Lander. Assuming that's some sort of lunar lander clone. Omega Race. I'm terrified to even look at the time, guys. Alien. I'm willing to bet that's based off of the actual movie too. Avenger. All these were uniform. This sounds like a stinker. Poker. I mean, I love poker, but really I love Texas Hold'em. And then two that look really weird. All right, Atlantis by Magic. This good dog had its way with this one. Again, $1. And then Mountain King. And let's the design with these. Look at the contacts. They're just ready to get torn apart. All right, Mountain King. So there you go. A whole bunch of VIC-20 games. Around 7 of those. I happen to say, I'm talking to that collector guy. I wanted to tear this guy's throat out after I said this to him. He's talking to me how he was already here, so I'm basically picking up scraps. He hasn't told me anything that he grabbed that's making me utterly cringe yet. This guy's in his 20s. Most 20-year-olds aren't that hot on a Nintendo NES, and that's really what's gonna make me pop is if somebody gets a bunch of NES on me. Dreamcast too, but we're good on Dreamcast. Got a really nice Dreamcast collection. But there is another system, the TurboGrafx. And I saw they had like 2-3 TurboGrafx games behind the counter. So I'm like, can I see those? And he's like, oh yeah, is that the TurboGrafx? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I grabbed some of those games. I'm like, oh yeah, what games? He's like, oh, I don't know. Oh, I wouldn't know. I just want you to know that they're sitting at my house collecting dust while you want for them. And this guy's always there. It's the sharks are multiplying, okay? And I don't know where this guy came from, but the past 3 or 4 times I've been in Lafayette, this guy's at the store. And I hate it. Because he knows his stuff. And that's the last thing I need is somebody who A, knows their stuff, and B, has money. Anyway, I looked at the 3-4 TurboGrafx games, and if you haven't seen a TurboGrafx game, they're like at the size of a credit card. And I looked through nothing I want, a couple sports games, Bonk's Revenge, which I wasn't willing to pay for, or Bonk's Adventure, which we already had. And then for $3, miraculously, for the Sega Master System, we have Transbot, which is a shooter. I believe it's kind of based off of Gundam Wing. But it's just a simple 2D shooter where you can transform between a robot and a ship and looking for it for a long time. It usually retails for $20. I don't know why they had 3 on it, but I was elated. This is probably what I was the most excited about in the whole lot. I've been looking for it for a while. And then finally, Texas Instrument games in the box. We've got a great Texas Instrument. We've got a bunch of different games for, including every game here. But these are boxed versions, and they were, I'm sure they were $1. I can look it up, but they were $1 each. And they're pretty much the three most seminal TurboGrafx Texas Instruments games out there. You got TI Invaders. Look at the box right there. Applications, software. We're not going to call it a game. We'll call it an application software for the home computer. You got Munchman, Texas Instruments answer to Guess Who. And then finally, the one I'm most excited about, they're basically their Scramble Defender clone Parsec in the box. Pretty hot. We have, like I said, we have copies of each of these games loose, but we have no boxed TurboGrafx Texas Instruments games, so I think it just rounds out our collection a little bit more. And for $3 in credit, I could not say no. So, man, we spent a lot that day. We spent a little by little. Had a couple big hitters. One, that Earth Defense and Landstalker. Out the door, we had 106 in credit, and we left there spending $74.61. So it was a lot of money, but man, when are you going to see VIC-20? When are you going to see Commodore 64? And these Genesis games, these were all really good deals, in my opinion. I wish Landstalker had its instructions, but aside from that, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, let's get back to, oh wow. We're way over, what a shock, huh? Let's go kill that fly a couple more times, alright? Hey, look, we'd be on time if this thing didn't crash, alright? I'm sorry. But hey, give me some credit. I got her back up and running. Ain't time to play a little more. Here we are. See, even the king's proud of me. He says I succeeded. I've succeeded. Let's play a little bit more of this, and then we'll head over to the mess hall, see what you guys have been yammering on about the past hour. While I try and edge my way toward getting a sword. Come on, wake up. There we go. Alright, so we need 24 gold to grab that sword. I'm gonna go up north, and we'll kill some easy guys. I'm gonna come down and watch this. It's a slime. Use the eagle attack. Oh! Oh! Eat your heart out, Link. Boom. Alright, we got 4 gold for that. Kill the imp. Sudden attack. But no hit. Do my upward rising. Boom! Cuts his head off mid-flight. You're out of here. We only need 16 more gold, guys. Let's go see what this person has to say. From the ominous tower comes one monster after another. I can no longer remain in this kind of tower. What? Some good localization there for you. Alright. What do you got here? Oh, it's Mush Boy. Oh, Mush Boy. What did he do? Well, he like headbutted me with his spongy head. Let's try some magic. Now, the magic here, I actually spent some money to grab these. But it's cool. Again, I want to show you what a full-functioning RPG this is for the Game Boy. We've even got spell animations. Woo! Alright. 5 gold. We'll need 11 more, and then we'll head back to town. I might go fight another terror fly. 7 more. Let's split this guy in 2. Oh, he sudden attacked me. How could that be? I came up to him. Upward Eagle! Oh man, 1 or 2 more fights and we got it. Anybody else here? Let's go fight that Terrorfly. 1 more big epic fight before we're done. Upward Eagle! It makes me wonder how as you get farther in this game, because I'm like, I don't know, I'm maybe like 3-4 hours in. How the different fight stances come into play in, say, maybe a later boss battle. Is there a guy who, like, you know, he stays in flight for a while, then he comes back down? You know, are you having to change tactics that way? Again, if that's the case, very impressive for, you know, an old black and white RPG like this. And I know I've said this before, but when I play these kind of games, I don't even see black and white. I think it's excellent as is. I'm totally enraptured with the artwork, despite the lack of color. And sometimes, and a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes I even prefer it. You guys ever seen Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania in black and white? It's beautiful. Very noir. Alright, last one. Let's finish him off with the Falcon. Oh! Hopefully that finishes him. It'd be embarrassing if it doesn't. Oh my god, 1 hit point. So you can't give these guys an inch. Now he's gonna crit me or something. Alright, let's finish him. Eagle! Alright, cool, we did it. Give me my scratch. 18 gold, we've got enough! 315 gold, guys. Let's do it, this is what it's all about. Why is this controller giving me such issues? Wake up! Oh my god. I'm like up 50 yards from the stupid... You know what? I didn't want that sword anyway. I've only been grinding on it for 2 hours. You guys remember that? You guys remember when you would grind in a 16-bit RPG, 8-bit RPG, and then either you died or you forgot to save? Am I gonna be able to fix that? I don't know. How annoying. Alright! Let's see what's in the mailbag. We got anything in here? We got people laughing at me, of course. Oh, Sega Master System. You don't know what that is? Yeah, Sega Master. This is freaking Ganja guy. We got time to show you. Where did Transbot go? Transbot. It's got a lot different meaning now than it used to. Well, I don't know what I did with Transbot. I lost it, but I'll show you the Sega Master System. We got one back here. It's busted. Sadly. But it's actually come in handy because every so often someone does say that. Like, what is a Sega Master System? This beautiful little honey is a Sega Master System. And the credit card looking game that we had, Transbot, fits right in there. Okay. And the weird thing about the Sega Master System was it had two different types of cartridges. So you had games that were like credit cards, and then more traditional, like, cartridges. And they both fit in here. Okay? Alright, there you go. Quick lesson from for Ganja there on the Sega Master System. See if there's any other questions here. I'm going to say probably not. I think we've all come to realize that the mess hall is more just so you guys have a place to sit there and commiserate and knock back a few while I try and suffer through our meandering adventures. Alright, let's get a question here. Here's some serious stuff, alright? Got a question here. How are we doing on time? We got a minute or so. Alright. This is from Welland Docks Airfix. Welland Docks Airfix. Welland Docks Airfix. And he says, a pirate! Where's your parrot? Where's my parrot? I don't know if I've even told this story yet. We do have a parrot, kind of. I don't know. For one thing, I don't want a parrot because it takes, I can barely take care of myself. You know, you got to feed them. They're pooping everywhere. They make noises when you're trying to, watch a movie or something. They're just, kind of a pain. I've never been that huge into pets. I do like dogs and cats, but it's kind of like kids. You know, you only enjoy them for a few hours, and then you want to go home and leave them behind for someone else to take care of. But I did get a parrot one time. I went to Universal. I'm sorry if I've told this story before. I don't remember, but I think it's worth telling. Went to Universal Studios with my family. Okay, thank you. I know. All right. And we went to the Harry Potter area, and it was the last night, and we were having dinner, and Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. I love that place. And my mom, for some reason, decides to buy everyone gifts for the last night. And she gives me this bag, and she's like, "Here you go." And I open it up, and it's like this red stuffed bird, like a stuffed animal. And she's like, "Here you go, it's a parrot." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, huh? Well, not exactly." She's like, "What's the problem?" And my sister, who's very versed in Harry Potter, starts laughing. And that's when my mother, who also knows Harry Potter, realizes what she's done. And I'm not holding a parrot, I'm holding the Phoenix. A stuffed version of the Phoenix from the second book of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you don't know what a phoenix is, it's basically a mythical bird that has the ability to burst into flames spontaneously and then from its ashes arise anew. Obviously, mine does not do that, and obviously we don't want a combustible mythical bird flying around on a wooden ship. So, the Phoenix is it's in quarantine. It's in like a steel box. It's not even on the ship. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I can't very well throw it out because my mother gave it to me. So, as for a parrot ever, I don't know. I kind of find it a little cliche, and there's something about that makes me averted to it, but, well, what can I say? Anyway, that's where we are with a parrot. Maybe one day. I'll just say that. Thank you for the question. If you ever have a question or something you'd like to send to the show for us to open here during our voyages, you can send it to the Gaming Galleon, P.O. Box 199254, Indianapolis, Indiana 49216. All right? And if you just want to send us an email or something, send it to gaminggalleon@gmail.com. We'll answer anything under the sun within reason. All right. Thanks for joining us. It was nice to see you guys. I had a really good time. I I wish I just got that sword. That's the tragedy of retro gaming sometimes. All right, take care. What happened here? Biz? Wasn't the Phoenix, was it? All right, well, we're going to have to use it. We'll see you next time. Not sure where, not sure when, but I'm sure one thing, we'll have to get another mug. But until then, farewell and adieu to ye Spanish maidens. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain. For we received orders for to sail to Avalot. Avalot. It's like Camelot and Avalon combined. We never even brought that up the whole hour. Avalot. And we may never see ye fair ladies all gone. Tabletop day, 2 days. Go have fun with some friends, okay? And keep your powder dry. What is this? What happened here? You realize how hard it is to find a Stein this